Hey guys, my name's Daniel from Travelers. Joining me today is solo traveler Julie from A Not So Young Woman Abroad. Hey Julie, how's it going?
Good, Daniel. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. So you're quite the traveler. Tell me a bit about why you decided to become a solo traveler.
I have always had a desire to travel. From a very young woman, all I ever wanted to do was don a backpack and head off overseas and into the world.
Yeah,
I uh, I became a mother as a very young person, and decided that my family came first, and so I. But then the bug never stopped. It's always been there. So as soon as I kind of got to the age where my kids could fend for themselves, I was off into the world, and I didn't ever want to wait for anyone.
yeah,
If I waited, I'd still be waiting for someone to travel with.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, how long ago did you start traveling?
So I started in my early 40s,
Hmm.
which is about 10 years ago
Yeah,
now. And basically just got on a plane
been
and
traveling
took off
since.
to America. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right. So you know the rules. I've got a bunch of questions lined up for you, and we've got 5 minutes to get through them. You ready?
Sure. I'm ready.
Cool. All right. So, um, do you ever get nervous about traveling solo?
I say no. I get excited about going into the world, about learning about new cultures. I've seen, some things that might make some people nervous, but
Yeah.
I just think if you go to a country and want to see learn about what they do and their everyday life, it's not nerves, it's excitement.
Yeah, so it's worth just sort of getting over that and getting over that
Yeah,
fear and getting
absolutely.
on and traveling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And on that note, what's been the scariest thing to happen to you so far?
Yeah, so I left Paris on a train, which is beautiful. It's a beautiful trip actually through the French Alps
Yeah.
into Italy, and we stopped at Torino, and basically it was nighttime when I got there, and I had to wait for a train to Rome. And I got off the train and I realised that I speak about 10 words of Italian, and I definitely don't read any of it. So it was actually a little bit like scary, kind of going where's the train?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So do you
yeah.
carry a sort of a translator with you since then or anything?
Well, I've actually learnt that a lot of the European countries will speak. So Italians will speak French.
Yeah.
So I just default to French if people can't speak English,
Yeah, that's
and
helpful.
so I'll ask someone around
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
All right. So what's been your favorite destination so far?
So I mean, I have a lot of favourites. I
Yeah, of
love New
course.
York. I love Vancouver. It's beautiful. San Francisco. Uh, um, Places in Europe, in Paris. I mean, everyone loves Paris, but I have to say Marseille
Yeah.
in France, it would be my top destination because it's a bit edgy, and it's not necessarily a place that women would go on their own, but because of that, it's just got this excitement and amazing food and different cultures, and that all in this beautiful city next to the Mediterranean.
And have you been back or?
To Marseille, no. I've been to Paris 4 times, but not to Marseille. So, but I will be back.
Okay. And since you started your adventures, have you ever surprised yourself or learned something new about yourself?
Well, this is one thing I actually think about all the time. I suppose as an older person, it's more about reinforcing what you knew about yourself. So if I was traveling when I was younger, I probably would have learned more about myself. But more at this time in my life, it's more about going, yes, you're resilient, and yes, Julie, you know to trust your gut instincts.
Yeah.
So if as an older person or a not so young woman, it's more about reinforcing all those things that you learn about yourself along your journey anyway.
And I guess that's got a pretty big impact on your everyday life as well then.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, and particularly when you're traveling, like you go, okay, I know my gut instinct's right. I won't travel. Won't walk down that street.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing. And I think had I done a lot more travel when I was younger, I might have learnt those lessons, but I also may not have learnt them as well and
Yeah.
have got
Okay.
into trouble.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And what's the biggest thing you've learnt about traveling that you didn't know before?
It's actually not as hard as people think, um, and that you learn about people and you learn about places so quickly. You meet people. People are friendly. People will help you, um, and yeah, that it's not a scary thing to do. Like
Just have to get over that hurdle and
you just have to get over the hurdle and take that jump, and I think that's the most important thing. The other thing in terms of me is and tourists, when you're out there and you see tourists, it's like don't forget to look up.
yeah.
Like the most beautiful things are up on ceilings or buildings or trees or mountains, and people are just so focused on
The
I
touristy
need to get
things.
a selfie. I need to get a selfie in front of the Venus de Milo. They forget that there's a Reuben sitting there by itself, and the ceilings in places are just amazing. So yeah, probably my number one tip from that is look up.
Look up. Outside of the ordinary.
Yeah.
No, that's really good. I'd love to ask you more questions, but I'm afraid time's up. It's been really interesting talking to you. An absolute pleasure.
Thank you, Daniel. It's been
Thank you
great
very
to
much
talk
for
to
coming and
you.
doing this interview.
Thanks, Daniel.
Thanks, Julie. Bye.
Bye.